Why, hello there. My name is Cathy Baillargeon. I am the owner of Virtual Cathy and your resource for all things virtual assisting. Today, we're going to be talking about the topic, how to onboard your VA. Similar to my last video, which is how to work with a VA, this is specifically talking about how to start working with your VA. And so this is probably the most stressful time that you people kind of consider when starting to work with a VA because they don't know how to onboard or start working with them or hand over the tasks that they need. And this is the part where they talk themselves out of the support that they need because they think that it's going to take too much time and effort to get to the point where the VA is actually helpful to them. Okay, I understand that. And you're right. This is probably kind of that transition where it is a little bit on the interesting side. You're getting to know their personality, you're getting to know what their strengths are and what their weaknesses are, and you're going to try and mesh this working relationship together. And there are some things that you can do to kind of help this process along. First and foremost, your VA should have some kind of idea or have their own onboarding process to kind of help jumpstart this transition. It's not all on you. It shouldn't be all on you. So this might look like a lengthy meeting together to talk more about priorities and what to start, where to start. It could look like questionnaires so they can kind of compile the information that they need in order to be successful in getting everything started off well. And it could also look like maybe just a checklist of what they need. So then you're not having to kind of figure out, okay, what do I need to send them now? What do they need to send me? So again, they should have some kind of process in place for themselves internally where they can get that information from you. So then you're not necessarily guessing, you're not just throwing them things uncoordinated like or unorganized. So definitely take cue from them on how they onboard their clients and what you need to provide them. The second thing that would be really helpful when onboarding your VA is to have some kind of outlined written process. Now, if you don't have it, that's okay because that doesn't necessarily mean you can't have a smooth transition into your VA helping you. It is helpful though if you do already have a outlined process that's perhaps step by step or just you have kind of like this is the starting point, this is where the results need to be, and then you can kind of fill in the blank in between. So if you have that, especially for more complex processes, that is incredibly helpful. Now, let's say you are just dying in all of your admin work, right? And you're hiring a VA because you need the help. You don't have any kind of outline written process, and that is not your strong suit. That is totally fine. That is why VAs exist. So, one way that you can kind of help this along, especially with a process that you're really concerned about, that you want to make sure that they're following each step, is record. Like, set up a time where you are actually recording yourself doing that exact thing, and that's how you do it. And so you can send a recording without having to write anything to the VA, and he or she could actually write it up based on the recording themselves. But then they'd also be able to take that recording, use it as a reference, and be able to mimic what you did in that process. So that is incredibly helpful. You probably have to do it anyway. And if they're even on the call and able to, or well, the call, the recording, and be able to ask questions at that same time, that will be the best bet. And it's probably going to take less of your time, energy, and resources to do that, since you already have to do it anyway. So that is the best way that you can help with onboarding specific processes. Now, again, if you uh, want to just leave it to your VA, Again, take that recording, you can give it to your VA. If it's not really a complex process and you don't really want to record yourself doing it, and they can probably figure it out themselves, then ask them if that is within their wheelhouse to create a process for you. And that way, when they're doing that process and writing it down, they can give you the process in which they wrote down, and you can easily skim it, make sure that they're doing those steps the way that you want them to, or maybe they're even doing it in a better way. And then you'll have that documentation for any other person that might be able to, that might need to do that process. So that's kind of a win-win for both of you. So that third is you leave it to your VA to write it out, record it out, however you want to have that documented. They get the hours in doing so. You're able to look through the process, make sure that that's perfected without having to put much effort and energy into it. And then you have that for the rest of your life. So those are the things. So one, follow your VA's lead on onboarding processes. Two, outline your written process, or like outline it in written form. If you don't want to do that, then set up a time to record and walk through that process while recording and sharing your screen. And you can do that on Zoom if you have Zoom, and there's plenty of other options out there to do the same thing. And then three, leave it up to your VA to write out. You can review it, make changes as necessary, and then it's done. So I'm hoping that this has been helpful for you, especially when being kind of concerned, nervous about onboarding your VA. Definitely utilize your VA in this process. That's why you hired them. That's why you've decided to invest in your business in this way, is so you can take some of that stuff off your plate. So again, hopefully this has been helpful. If you find some of these things helpful, please feel free to comment below if you have any questions specifically about working with VAs. Again, comment. I'd be happy to do another video on it. Subscribe, and we will see you next time.